Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. We're happy to be here. My name is Tia, and I have two little boys. Julian is 4, and Jonah just turned 2 months today, and my husband, Brad. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about before hypnobirthing for us, and then the hypnobirthing classes process, as well as our delivery for Jonah through this experience with hypnobirthing. What I would like to say first is when I had Julian, we learned a lot after the process, and now that I can look back, I can realize that family and friends who've had kids were very quick to share all of the negative experiences that they had, and all of the stress and all of the pain and everything that happened to them, and what the doctor said, and the rush and the this and the that. And I was very busy working, so I just figured I'll just get an epidural, and I'll be happy, because I heard so many good things about the epidural, and I'll be able to manage. So I created a birth plan that I didn't take very long to do, just so that I can hand to the doctor. And I said, you know what, it'll be nice if when I have my baby, I don't want to have an epidural. I would like to have a natural birth. But in the event that it's unbearable, like everybody says it's going to be, then just give me the epidural. I'll be happy. So, of course, I immediately just got the epidural because I was so scared. I was so fearful. I was very tensed. I was not relaxed. And there was several things that happened that I know now could have been avoided if I had hypnobirthing education and experiences. So, let's see. Let's see. So I delivered Julian. I'm so happy he's here. He's a very healthy boy. I had my mother and my mother-in-law in the labor room, so it's quite interesting, but we made it through. And my husband was very, very helpful. I told him if my eyes were closed, please don't talk to me. So I kept my eyes closed, and I didn't have to talk to anyone, and I tried to deal with the situation. So I made just a quick list of some things that I experienced with Julian that I know now may have not positioned me for the best delivery. So I was stuck in the bed, not able to walk around, even though my birth plan said I'd like to walk around and get some exercise and breathe. But unfortunately, it was just a routine: get into the bed and just wait, or deal with your surges, or what we used to call them as contractions. Also, when I had Julian, I know now that I had the urge to push very, very early. And so the doctor didn't check me to see how I progressed through my pregnancy, so I just started pushing. But I know now that my body was not ready, and I should have waited. I should have just waited. So as a result, we did the back and forth thing that Ying described. And unfortunately, his heartbeat started being very inconsistent and going down, and then there was a concern. Which leads me to the third thing that was a challenge, which was how loud the machines were to track the baby's heartbeat and what the baby was doing. And I know now that I didn't need to know all this information at the time, but I think it contributed to my fear, and it contributed to me feeling very, very tensed. So after pushing for a while, the doctor felt that it was time for us to just aggressively get the baby out. So the baby was pulled out and suctioned out, and so the baby was kind of yanked out. That I know now I probably would not prefer, but then it was my first baby. I did not have the knowledge, and I was not prepared, and I didn't feel comfortable. I'm just like, oh, thank God I had a baby. So also after we had him, there were some other complications that could have contributed to the baby being yanked out, but I won't get into those because I know there's probably some first-time mothers here, so I don't want to get too much in there and talk about that. But lastly, I would say that with Julian, unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to wait for the placenta to be delivered naturally. My doctor thought it was necessary to go in and pull it out. So that was actually more painful than delivering him. So, and by the way, I did end up doing the epidural, but I felt every single thing from when I had it. So enough of that. And I love Julian. I would like to focus now just a little bit about hypnobirthing and what I learned, because when we got pregnant the second time, I just naturally wanted to have a different experience. And I started researching on YouTube, and I started looking at videos and just crying after every single delivery because I was just so touched. And I just saw all these incredible women, and I'm like, I just want to be one of those, and I want to have a good time, and I want to be relaxed, and I want to be happy in my delivery. Because actually with the pregnancy, I was very happy. So I wanted to extend that to the actual day that we delivered Jonah. So some of the things I learned from hypnobirthing classes, it taught me a lot about my body and the labor stages and why and how things change in our bodies in order for the baby to be delivered naturally and to flow out naturally. Also, I learned breathing and meditation and visualization exercises that I practiced so that I felt prepared for birth. And it was helpful for me to create my own personal visualization. So in the event you take the class and you listen to the rainbow meditation, feel free to make it work for you, because it's a general idea that you can use not only for delivery but any other challenges that you might face in life. Let's see. I learned how to create a comprehensive birth plan that the doctor and the midwife would take very seriously, because it was things that would not take a lot of time and effort to set up for me as far as setting up the perfect environment. And I was very, very happy with that, with the birth of Jonah. And then most importantly, I met lots of people who had the same desire in their pregnancies. A lot of people were having kids for their first time, but then I met a really good friend who, like me, had a second opportunity to have a different experience. And so life after hypnobirthing class and the delivery of my son, and my husband and I, we always look back and remember all of the things that happened when he came. And I think we were like on a natural high for like a week or two after, and we were like, can't believe that happened to us. And fortunately for us, we got it on video, so we can always look at it and say, you know, anybody, any of our friends who might be interested in what we did, to look. And I will say that after gaining the knowledge through hypnobirthing classes, I was able to, for Jonah, to postpone my scheduled inducements for 4 days. So I think if I didn't have the knowledge that I had for hypnobirthing, I would have just allowed them to induce me a day before my due date. And, you know, at that point, who knows what would have happened. So I'm really happy that I was able to have the confidence to articulate with the doctor what I wanted, and to make sure that the baby was safe at all times, and to also think of and acknowledge the fact that there was no good reason to induce early. We ended up doing a water birth, so I thought that was really, really nice. And I think the water birth was definitely a compliment to the big idea of hypnobirthing exercises and practices. So now when I'm in a room of a lot of people having negative comments or experiences to share about childbirthing, you know, I feel good to be able to say, well, it doesn't have to be like that if you want to do it again. You can have another chance and have a better calming experience. So I don't know if my husband wants to say anything or not, but you know.
Yeah, it was, I kind of liken it to the birthing experience. I was a little bit cautious, or especially around the hypno language, slightly skeptical, but for me it was really just a meditative orientation, a way of focusing Tia's mind and energy around the natural process that she was built to deliver. So that was nice. It was kind of like kayaking. I like to whitewater kayak, and if you're going down a class 5 river where you might die if you don't perform, you have to be sort of in a unintuitive way, extremely relaxed, not tense and worried. And it was exactly the same. Really beautiful to watch Tia being in the flow through that process. Easy, happy, smiling, and progressing even just the mindset of surges, being progressive energies as opposed to things to sort of clinch around and try and control or worry or get past or avoid or whatever. Was really powerful. Yeah.
Definitely, he was a very key component to the delivery of Jonah, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And if anybody wanted to have as a reference my birth plan or the CD that I bought to listen to when I had Jonah, I'll be more than happy to provide that information as well. And thank you for listening.
He's okay.